Every yard, every hit, every second. It's earned out here. This game demands more than just skill. It demands fuel. The right fuel. Because out here, it's not just about how hard you work. It's about how long you keep going. When the game gets real, drink bottle still.
Welcome into the midway point in the OUA season, Connor. A lot of action, a lot of good games this weekend, specifically your Ottawa GGs. I mean, what a performance their defense put on. We will get to those ones as we always do, but we've got to start with our game of the week, and this one was the Battle of Waterloo. Connor, a tighter game than I think many people would have expected.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. It was really only a two-score game in this one until about midway through the third quarter. But then Laurier does what Laurier does, and they go on a bit of a run and they kind of ice out the game in this one. But I think for the most part, it was a really good first half of football from the Waterloo Warriors.
Yeah, Nick Orr being healthy, I think, was a big factor in that one. Obviously, coming off the injury that we saw against the Varsity Blues a couple weeks ago, we weren't sure if he was going to play or what it would look like. But Connor, he was the offense, the offense, and the offense through the air and through the ground. He was everything for them, scoring as well. So this one was to me, the Laurier defense showed a really big strength of theirs, which, they held Anthony Miller to -1 rushing yards. Let's just lay that one out there. Okay, Nick Orr had 75. A couple of those were big time scrambles. Um, I thought they did a very good job of containing Waterloo's attack and making them play to their weakness. Now, Nick Orr played a very strong game, and Samuel Slocum as well with 118. Evan Basiliga had the sweet diving touchdown. The Waterloo offense did well for playing left-handed, but Laurier certainly shut out that run game.
Yeah, they certainly did. And I mean, offensively for Laurier, this was the Ethan Jordan show. My goodness, did he have a darn day. Cal Wither goes 19 of 25 for almost 300 yards. 8 of those go to Ethan Jordan, who had 177 yards and three of the 4 passing touchdowns off the arm of Cal Wither. What a ball game from him. And he was a headache for this Waterloo defense all game long.
Hey, do you think that Waterloo's going to be happy this is the last time they're going to see Ethan Jordan in the Battle of Waterloo? Oh, wait, there's Ryan Hughes with 90 yards and a touchdown himself. And let's not forget about the man, Tayshawn Jackson Connor, 17, 126. Quentin Scott with 50 in his own right and the touchdown. They controlled the pace through the air, through the ground, defensively, making Waterloo play left-handed. And you know what? A good Battle of Waterloo all around. But these two teams, like this is the defending Gates Cup champions for a reason. Waterloo played a good matchup, but too much to handle in this one.
Yeah, let's move on, Wade. Let's go to this Ottawa Guelph game. A shocking road win for the GGs late in this game. About a buck 30 left in the game. Ottawa scores the game-winning touchdown, 30-23. What are your thoughts on this game?
Um, I am very surprised that Guelph did not just hammer the run game. Okay, they were getting looks that prompted them to throw, but Tristan Aboud, 4 interceptions. The last one was a tip up when they were driving for a win. Um, 3 of them were just kind of poor throws, bad decisions, late decisions, and they ran the ball well. Like everybody that ran the ball had at least 4.5 yards per carry. That is very successful to have in Canadian football. And let's look at Charles Asselin on the other side. You know, he got 21 total touches for 110 yards. Okay, that was the max of his day, and a couple big chunk runs, but a lot of it was just piecing away, chipping away, and Josh Jansen, Noah Avery, Kuliu, like they just use their weapons on offense for Ottawa. Guelph, though, anytime they went to put the ball near Jackson Brashear, it felt like it was going the other way.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly did. He had 2 interceptions on the day, a sack, a very strong showing, forced fumble. The stats go on and on and on for him. I thought he had a really, really fantastic day. And you know what else I thought Ottawa did really well in this one? Special teams play, Wade. special teams play. Did you see the I don't know, the fake
The fake
reverse
handoff
place, the
from,
fake
yeah,
handoff from Denny Ferdinand to score the touchdown on the special teams?
all but one Guelph Griffin was fooled on that, and the guy that wasn't fooled was the contain guy away from the handoff. The one guy that probably didn't need to be fooled on the play. But no, I thought this game, Ottawa played a very strong game in all three facets, especially after the opening kickoff comes back with Matt Stam for Guelph. Ottawa rebounds and just kind of locks in, retools, and refocuses. And it felt like Guelph every time a negative play happened, it just kind of compounded and compounded. And then maybe they would pull themselves out, but then they'd make another mistake and compound it for a bit longer. And there was a point in this game about mid-third quarter where Marshall McRae came out to start a drive, and I kind of thought to myself, is this where they go the Western route of, all right, it's not working with a boot today. Let's just let Marshall McRae go after it and see if we can get some points on the board and actually score an offensive touchdown. Um, that was a short-lived drive, and we didn't see much of McRae after that, except for when they got deep into the red zone late in the game. So I was kind of shocked they didn't go into that pound the ball, let's use our athletic quarterback mode. But Ottawa, Connor,
I know, I know. It was a big win for them, big pickup, but they have a tough test coming up in the Laurier Golden Hawks. We will get to that one later in the week with the previews. But where do you want to go now? We have a few games left to
I want
get
to
to
talk
in the
about
OUA.
the DK Bonanza, man. Dolby and Kelly show. Evan Hillock, again, 13 of 19, 213 and a touchdown, an interception that got thrown backwards into the DB's hands, it felt like, on like a missed catch. Connor, I don't think that Western actually needed to dress any quarterback in this game. The way that Dolby and Kelly and Rancor were running the ball, I know Rancor counts as a quarterback, but whoop-de-doo, they threw the ball to him as well because he's playing H-back now. The way that they have ran the ball this year has just been so insanely dominant. And I saw, we're at the midway point. We can start projecting some of these end of season awards. Ethan Dolby is the OUA MVP. There is
Right now, he
no
has to be.
question
Yes.
he is. And if he keeps up this pace, even with Jack Kelly stealing 100 yards, and having a really good season in his own right, Ethan Dolby is the bell cow. He is the yardage man. He is the touchdown maker. And all the love is going to go to that O line as well. I know he will give it to them, but he is the man with all of the accolades right now lining up to go his way.
Man, 230 yards, 4 touchdowns. The way he played that game, what he was able to do, how he was able to slow it down for himself was just very impressive to watch. And, when you have a guy like that in your backfield, it makes your job as a quarterback, makes your job as Evan Hillock very, very easy. And this team is running through Ethan Dolby right now. He is your offense. He is the touchdown generator, like you were saying. So I think, yeah, Ethan Dolby is just such a treat to watch in the OUA right now. And he really was the driving force behind this lopsided Western win.
Yeah, and Connor, let's not forget about it. He actually had 180 yards last week, and we were like, oh, wow, can he do it again? Well, it turns out, yes. Yes, he indeed can do it again. And now I'm kind of like, does he go for 203 weeks in a row? Who knows? I believe it's homecoming is the next time we see Western play, so maybe he will, maybe he won't. But Connor, we've got another game to turn to here, and that's the Queens Gales against the Toronto Varsity Blues. Tight-ish early on. I mean, 10-6 for Queens halfway through the second quarter, and then the turnovers just started to mount up.
Yeah, they certainly did. And, we challenged or said it would be a challenge for the Queens defensive back unit, the Queens secondary, heading into this one against the prolific offense of the Varsity Blues, headlined by Scott Barnett and Jake Osteen and Chris Joseph. But Wade, they did a really darn good job of taking away everything that was available, taking away everything that Toronto liked to do. They held Barnett to just 213 yards through the air. They forced 5 interceptions off of his hands. And like you were saying, those led to positive plays for the Queens Gales. I think that their secondary did a really, really good job in this one and helped secure the win.
Yeah, and not only just, the five turnovers, and of course Gadden with three picks is insane in a single game, and Ashton Melanson with two of his own. The second one was really impressive as he kind of stole the ball right at the sideline. Um, Connor, for me, this one felt like Toronto had early success and just kept doubling down on those same concepts while Queen sat there saying, okay, they got us early with this concept. Here's how we're going to adjust to take it away. And Toronto just kept throwing the same concepts at the adjustments from the Queen's defense. And to their result, five interceptions later, you're kind of looking up going, how did this game get to be 44-6 when we were 10-6 at one point? I mean, 34 unanswered is insane. And there's a couple driving factors to that. Nathan Falcone with three touchdowns, but to me, this game from start to finish for offense on Queens, Jared Cesare.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Just like we were talking about with Ethan Dolby and Western, I think, the same can be applied to this game. He goes for 21 carries, 183 yards, two touchdowns, and Vreek just has to throw the ball 20 times. He completes 14 of them, 223 yards, three touchdowns. I think that Cesare and what he brings to this offense allows Vreeken and the rest of the offense to just play really relaxed, really comfortable, pick their moments, pick their spots. But having a back like that can just go to work and produce positive yards is so beneficial.
Yeah, and for Toronto, I mean, we knew going into this one, like a 3-4 is not a good sign when you're playing a heavy power team to me. And I know there's some coordinators that might say like, oh, well, you get more guys moving around and able to kind of insert and cut off pulling guards. But to me, you're also giving the pulling guards a chance to turn up field and get extra yardage. And that's what we saw with Queens when they did use their gap scheme. You would get guys going downhill. And when Cesare gets a blocker in front of him, let alone a 5 yard run up at a defender. He's very tough to tackle. We've seen that for 4 or 5 years now in his career, as long as he's been carrying the ball for Queens. So, um, I mean, Queens is now in a place where they feel comfortable. Do they want those two games back against Laurier and Western? Absolutely. But they control their own future. And the way they play football, if it's on their terms, they're unstoppable. If it's not on their terms, they're still a really good team. And like we saw, can make the adjustments necessary to make a team play left-handed if it's not working early on.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's move on, though. One more game to get to, and it is the Windsor Lancers picking up their first win of the season in a 29-13 win over the McMaster Marauders. And overall, Wade, I thought Windsor played really, really good football in this one. Yes, they come away with that 29-13 win, but it was the two quarters where they blanked the McMaster Marauders that were really impressive to me, the opening quarter and the closing quarter. They outscored the Marauders 20-0 in both of those quarters. Defensively is what really impressed me with the Windsor Lancers this week. I think they did a really good job shoring up that defense and really taking away everything that McMaster likes to do. I mean, Luke Dahlman throws the ball almost 30 times, but he only goes for 166 yards through the air, and even on the ground, Dahlman was the guy that had to carry the rock, right? I mean, he had the one touchdown, he had 70 yards rushing, but really that was it in terms of difference makers on the ground.
Yeah, and Connor, we talked about for the last couple of games now, I guess, as this is game number two for McMaster. Um, can they develop a run game? And Thalman carrying the ball and running around and trying to extend and make plays is not consistent enough. Meanwhile, you have Andrew Delaney on Windsor and Connor. He's a physical freak. Like you look at him, he is taller than most H backs, yet he's as powerful as most running backs. He's fast as most receivers. He is a threat from anywhere on the field. And when he gets going downhill in this Windsor offense, they are tough to beat. But my real question and real start for the day, do you like field goals? Because Brady Lidster hit five of them. And I believe he also set a record to become like Windsor's most all-time leading kicker for field goals made in a career or something like that. 1,000 points maybe. I forget what it was, but he is now an all-time Windsor Lancer kicker as Brady Lister nails five field goals, two extra points, and quite frankly, is the difference in this game.
Oh, I mean, even talking about his punting, he had 145 yards punting on 4 kicks, dropped 2 of those inside the 20 as well. So yeah, he's making a difference, putting points up for this team, but also flipping the field. So having a guy like Brady Lister on this team is just so incredibly important for the Windsor Lancers. And when you can win those third phases of football games, it results in wins like this against teams like McMaster.
Absolutely. Well, Connor, we've got no more games to go through here in the OUA. We do have a ton of big games coming up, including that Laurier Ottawa matchup that we talked about. Uh, enjoy the week, everybody. Please continue to follow along, support the OUA. You can catch any of the games on demand at OUA.tv if you're signed up and subscribed. So make sure to check those out in case you missed any of the action from last week.
And as always, make sure to drink your BioSteel. Stay hydrated, stay ready for game day. Drink BioSteel, official hydration partner of the OUA.